pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval and amendment of meeting agenda items.
I have no changes tonight.
Just good with consent.
I move that we approve the agenda for April 11th, 2016. Second.
So it's been moved and seconded to approve our meeting agenda. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Approval of minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes for March 14th, 2016 as presented.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Correspondence.
I have none.
Public comment. Reports. ASB report.
Mr. Hamilton, would you like to introduce your student this evening?
This is Tara Stanton, one of our ASB students. Tara,
Hi,
go ahead.
this is our ASB report. This is from March till the beginning of April. So a group of students attended a leadership conference in Grants Pass that was well received. Students got a taste of leadership and had some fun as well. The Erie Cup finals were held on March 17th with three students emerging as the winners. Sammy Nickel for her general informative speech on opium, Dylan Dunn as H.H. Holmes in his first-person biographical speech, and Maria Monreal for her persuasive speech on immigration. The finals were well attended and had about 130 audience members. SWAT classes have been creating campaigns to present to students and teachers that would impact bullying in our schools. This will be completed the first part of May. Last Thursday, the 6th grade were at the high school for their orientation day. Also on that day, we had our elective forecasting for all students 6th through 12th grade. This was a good way for the 6th graders to get a feel for the LHS and to interact with the older kids in a limited fashion. Avid elect classes visited UNR today and received a guidance tour of the campus, plus specific visits to the ag and medical departments.
Facilities update.
Well, really, the only thing to report is that the elevator shaft in the school right here continues construction stages. They've done a remarkable job of really moving it along. The last report I received from Mr. Anderson was the elevator, or actually Mr. Thornton said this to me, the elevator will be arriving sometime in May. Do you know the date on that?
I don't have the exact date. Should be about May, but we're looking at a possible extension on the project from April 30th to July 30th before we get it fully put in. So we can move forward. Everything's going. Yes.
That's all I have. What about you?
I don't have any projects on.
Building principal reports.
Mr. Brock is not here, so his report, I believe, is in written form this evening, and Mrs. Warner's is also in written form. Is there anything you'd like to expound on or anything like that?
No, but I'm happy to answer questions. I didn't know if I'd be back, so I wanted you to have something.
So I was seeing that the county was going to start doing the asphalt in the playground May 1st. So do we have enough confidence that the funds are going to be there to put something back?
There's the missing piece is that asphalt, and Sam was supposed to finish it up today he was meeting with Rick D'Amelio, and Rick's been helping him with the asphalt projections. And we bumped that up by quite a bit to give ourselves some cushion if it came in a little higher than what we thought. But that is a big factor, so. That's a projected time, so we have some wiggle room there. We aren't gonna go to town until we know we can do it.
Of course, we still have commitments from whatever Lions Club, Rotary, and Seropolis raised their projects that are committed to the playground. In addition, we're still waiting here from the Collins McDonald Fund as far as how much they're, well, if they're going to want to give a contribution number two, how much is it going to be?
What do we view the shortage being right now? Roughly?
Well, I'll let you give the financial end of it, Susan.
We're asking Collins McDonald for 15 and 15,000, and then the Ford family for 25,000. Collins McDonald approached us about submitting a letter requesting. They just have not met to make a decision as to the amount and if they would like to do that. But they did approach us about asking us to submit an application, so we felt fairly favorable about that, or fairly confident. The Ford family is a revolving grant. You can submit at any time, and we finished that up last week. So, but their turnaround time is only a couple of weeks, so we still have some room that if we need to put the brakes on a little bit, we can. If we are short 30,000, we can sit down and look at where we're at. But hopefully that asphalt is right where we think it's supposed to be, or maybe a little less.
And so if we start on May 1st, is that gonna put us in this fiscal year for all the expenditures, or is it gonna carry through the summer?
Don't carry into the summer.
The ripping out of the asphalt is not, that is kind of.
It's an in-kind donation.
County's going to do that.
So put things back together is gonna be the summer. late
Summer after July 1st type thing,
Probably
yeah.
after July 1st.
Thank you.
Any other questions I can answer? Thank you.
How about the LHS report?
I believe it's written earlier for you to look over. I guess Mr. Hamilton, I have, yeah, and Mr. Chavez here to answer questions if you have any, so.
Site council meeting minutes don't really tell us what you talked about. I'm more interested in what they had to say about all that stuff, not necessarily what you just talked about.
I can pass that along. See that for a second?
But I also wondered, on the electric forecasting, what, can you give us an idea of what we're looking at offering next year? Or how that went, was it?
So we tied it in with our sixth grade orientation. We had the sixth graders down, did their orientation, had them for lunch, and then after lunch, we set up six different rotations, basically, where the kids were in groups, grade level groups. They were handed out, Mr. Fez had sheets ready for them with their electives on them, and then he gave all of our elective teachers a chance to talk to those kids and kind of sell their programs. I think a lot of kids, some didn't know some info on some programs, stuff like that. So it gave each kid a chance to go visit each one of those, so those teachers kind of got to present on that. It went great, it went really well. I thought it was one of the best sixth grade orientations since I've been here. I kind of heard that same sentiment, that it went just really well for those kids, and kind of got a little interaction with some of the kids, by eating lunch and being there at lunch and then going through the rotation. So it went well, it went really well.
So do you want me to continue? Okay. So then the plan is that in the past what we did was we'd have the elected teachers talk one day real quick in the classrooms, and it would really consume their time. So this way we could just take one afternoon. So they'd go in the day before with me, and then I'd go back in. So those sheets are like a working worksheet that we're going to go in, and I'm going into the classrooms 8th through 11th graders Wednesday and Thursday this week, and we're going to put those electives in order on how they want them.
even though they're supposed to be on their worksheet, but on the, formal form, and then look at all their academic classes, their math, their science. We'll do 4-year plans with the ninth graders. We have course catalogs for them, so we'll just now kind of finalize the plan. So we don't know yet, because then what happens is all that goes into our database, and then we'll be able to print numbers for what students want what classes, and that'll take a little while for Mrs. Collin to put into the database.
And that, therefore, that determines what we're offering next year?
So kind of how we go with that is, so Steve looks at the numbers and really looks at, what the kids want, because I think that that's what we like to look at first, is what do the kids really want? But then he has to make sure our staffing matches that. So it's kind of a balance of those two things. So then Jesse and Steve and I'll get together and really look at all of that. So.
And do we have anything new besides, we have culinary arts?
I should have brought you this one, because we did some projected classes. So we were looking at like an Oregon history, a floral culture. I don't know if I can get them all. There was.
I think that's what Quinn came home and said.
I talked about.
Yeah.
And then we put the avid elect there because our hope is to take that, 7th through 11th. And so it really hasn't been on those sheets before. We kind of just, ran the, application process and stuff. So we put that there and did a lot of those interviews ahead of time too. So.
I found that too, looked it over, very good presentation. I think new ones I saw were floriculture, Oregon history, semester each. And then Mr. Smith is going to also put in an advanced welding course as well. So, like project building and things like that.
Thanks, Mr. Cam.
Psych.
I was at that if you have
Is
any
it the
questions.
February? Yeah, the February one.
Okay.
Yeah, on the first one, yeah, I just talked about, that was kind of the grant process, and we talked about that, some of the funding stuff with that. What we've been doing with SWAT and tying in with our teaching strategies and using that as our professional development and stuff. We talked a lot about that, and they were, thought it was great, thought it was a great use of our time and what we kind of, with that SWAT program. School Improvement Wednesday, same thing, just kind of talked about, got a little feedback from them and talked about the benefits of it for our staff members. Not a ton of feedback on that from them in terms of the School Improvement Wednesdays.
I think the one parent did make the comment that that they've gotten used to it. That, in the beginning it was kind of, that remembering the Wednesdays and all the different things that go with that. And I think that they feel really good about that they've gotten used to it and they like to see it, keep that another year, because it is kind of, if it changed, they'd have to change their plans for everything. It's kind of the feedback that we had.
Well, yeah, this was back in February, so
Yeah.
it was before.
Well, I think that, did we meet again? And we talked again about it a little bit too, yeah.
Yeah. And then the calendar was obviously for what before was it adopted, we just got presented those and got their input. They chose the one that we ended up going with as well. That was kind of their preference, was the one that we ended up going with. So.
So then, future agenda items, community surveys, what was that?
Where are we at?
Site
Oh, there is,
council
the other ones are in the back.
March 30th.
That's, the one thing I take out, because I was not at that one.
So the surveys, we talked about that the parents would really have liked to have had a survey. They talked about a survey about the early release. And so Steve talked about how could we get one out before the end of the school year, and how could we do that with parents. And so I think we're gonna look and move forward on that. Because the parents there really felt, and so did the teachers and the staff that was there, felt that that would be a good thing. But I think we're gonna meet again and kind of finalize on what that should look like.
So, are you doing this survey just for the parents, or you'll do a survey for the teachers as well, so that we hear feedback?
I think that was kind of like maybe send it out to community and families, and then talk about whether, I think the teachers are a big part of that. We didn't really have that teacher discussion. So I'll make a note when we go back
I
to
would
the
love to hear
council.
all your, Ruth and I are speaking for
them. But I don't, you know, comments are always nice, you know, specifics or. Yeah.
So, okay.
Was it, and what were they wanting feedback on particularly, like?
On how it's, I think on how it's gone for everybody, I think, you know, how's it working for the kids to
Wednesdays.
early release, you know, and what are some of, and I think the buildings are doing some different things and kind of what else we can offer in the buildings for kids that are early release.
Because we have them corralled for that hour before practice starts somewhere.
Yeah, we have a study hall for them, and yeah.
So is that, it looks like the next meeting's the 27th. Is that when the surveys can be finalized?
I think that's when we're gonna come up with exactly, do more specifics on it so that something can go out.
Okay.
Even the younger kids are corralled, if you forget, which we have.
So I know our schedules of the board and the site council aren't going to necessarily align perfectly, but it's possible to share the survey with us. I'd like to see it. I'm not sure we need to approve it.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think, but we were just talking about that. How can we improve our communication with the community, parent care?
So maybe even have some about communication throughout too on that.
Well, I noticed, yeah, you guys talked about an email text system, fees, all those things that parents love to have input on.
Well, we added on our demographic form, that's what I call it when we do registration, that first form. We added, you know, emails, and we talked about even the students' cell phone numbers and if they want texts and emails and all that. And we just need to be more diligent about collecting that because we've noticed that we get some, but some of them are blank, and we don't know if that's because they don't have that or if they just don't fill that part out. So Emma was there, so we talked about how could we make sure we gather that data at registration as well.
That may be a fairly effective tool. I mean, you can send out via email a message to text, or you can build groups, students, parents, community, whatever else. School closures, whatever it may be.
Right.
Well, we talked about that texting teams. Now we have to be vigilant a little bit about texting kids.
Yeah, there's some apps for that I know, you can utilize. Go to, I can't remember the name of that app when you can text the whole group. It goes in the group text and responds to everybody, and
Oh, yeah.
but I got on our Lakeview Athletics site, you can sign up. We use that
Yeah.
on there's an athletic change. Like when you go on as a fan, when you set up a fan account on there, you have the choice of clicking. Do you want to get text messages when there's an update? And so just today, I selected all the groups, and anyone that had text would have got a text today about a change or whatever that was in the schedule.
That's Lakeview Athletics.
On my schedule site. I've got some really good feedback on that from people. Both you get an email blast and a text blast when you send those things out. If you've signed up for them, you got to set up a free fan account on Lakeview Athletics, and then sign up for whatever sports your son or daughter plays. And if anything changes for volleyball, for instance, and you're signed up for it, whenever I send out, send a text to you or an email.
There's a program for that for entire schools too.
Yeah.
Our last school has it, so I'll ask what it is, but you just, when you fill out your form, you check it out on registration, and then it's not like a group text, so you don't get everybody responding, it's just a school notification, and it goes straight to your phone. So instead of email, and I think it's some sort of program that they install, but I'll ask them what that is.
And Steve talked about that there's some free apps and some really low-cost programs, like it's not a real expensive thing to do, and he really talked to them about some free programs. I don't know if they work.
I think that fits in line somewhat with what I keep bringing up on our Facebook. You know, communication, in
Especially.
this new age where people carry smartphones.
Some people.
How about that?
Do you have any more questions on this, like, council?
Okay, thank you very much.
It's not a show.
She's a little- she still has a football.
revenue, collected 448,000, a little bit less than what we projected at 456,000. Expenses, we expended 954,000. There was a $327,000 transfer into the construction fund that we transferred, so that's a piece of that. And ending fund balance ended at $3,333,681. We met as a finance committee and discussed several things you missed out.
A little more on the plate.
Yeah, you did. That's all good.
So what does that percentage in the variance?
They were just a little bit below for the year.
Ending fund balance.
Ending fund balance, sorry. So we're above. So I projected that our ending fund balance right now would be at $2,765,000. We actually have $3,333,000.
So we're 14% above.
Where we thought we would be.
Okay. Somebody have a question? Thank you. Old business.
We have none.
Okay. New business.
Pleased to introduce our social studies teacher, Chalice Young, and she is bringing a proposal to us tonight to pursue the Washington DC trip for the 2016-17 school year. I believe at one time, maybe predates me, that Lakeview High School used to do this trip.
That's what Mrs. Fox.
And then,
Yes.
do you
Yes.
have information on that, Chalice?
For this year's?
When we used to do it?
Oh, no, she just said that they used to go.
Yeah, it used to be kind of a Washington DC / New York trip, I remember.
Oh, yeah, she
It's-
did mention that.
It's been some time ago. Anyway, enough for me, over to you.
All right, I
Take
thought
it
the
away.
best way to present this is just bring the invitation, because it has all the information parents would need, so equal amount. Let's see. But in here we have who is Roll Stride, so I've traveled with them for 2 years in Arizona. They've been doing this for 50 years as an education program, so they're really reliable and take over 40,000 students every year. And then on the back it has safety and security, so they have Tour Central where they have people they can send out to come to any student's need whenever needed. They have course leaders that are like our tour guides throughout the city. Night chaperones in the hallways of the hotel. They stay overnight in the hall to make sure that kids are staying where they're supposed to stay. There's on-site coordinators. Those are people that stay in the hotel and make sure that our schedule is what it's supposed to be and make sure we know everything's going on, our breakfast is ready and all that kind of stuff. We have our own motor coach drivers, and then student name tags. They have a number on the back that will direct them to me or to Tour Central or whatever they would need if they were to get separated. But I know that they said in all the 50 years they lost one student during an inaugural address, and he was found in like 15 minutes. So that's the most packed Washington DC gets, and in 50 years once. And then doctors on call. So they work with George Washington University to have doctors on call if needed, if anything's happening. The next big thing is the all-inclusive part. Round trip transportation, and then ground transportation while there, hotel, the course leader, that is our tour guide, admissions and educational activities, meals, even allocation at the airports. They send me the check ahead of time, and then I get the cash, and then I give them at the airports for lunch and dinner on the way back. Evening activities, and then there's also some insurance included also. They have a SPLAC scholarship and then letters to families for fundraising. I'll talk more about fundraising in a little bit. And then I think the next important thing is these 2 sheets here. The back has a sample itinerary. This is my first year doing a 5-day, which I'm excited about because we always had to trade one thing for another, like Holocaust Museum for Ford's Theater. But this time with the 5-day, we get to see all the major things. I won't go through it all because I like to say we literally see almost everything there is to see, if not not inside, at least we drive by and get the history of it from our tour guide. So including Mount Vernon, White House, inside the Capitol, all the memorials, some of the major museums, and usually 3 out of the 7 Smithsonians. So for price and fundraising, it's $2,200. And if you sign up early, it's like $140 off. And they have a payment plan where parents can pay even after the trip happens, so they can pay into June and July. And they have the flag scholarship and letters to families, but what I say, because this is a personal choice to take the trip, we don't do a lot of group fundraisers. I haven't really seen them to be successful, because the kids who don't need the money are the ones there working the hardest, and then the ones that do kind of slack off. So I really encourage kids to get in a small group and do things together to fundraise, like do a car wash or a rummage sale, or go mow lawns and ask for donations, stuff that they could do as a small group and then pay their own way after they split it. So I guess that's the biggest concern, is the cost. And then I'll just leave it to questions. I'm sure I left something out.
I think it sounds exciting.
It's for, another, I opened it for next year's 8th through 10th. I usually only take 8th graders, but since the first year, not that many can go just because they aren't aware of it. So they haven't had a chance to save up. So I wanted to open it up to a larger group. We have 19 signed up as of now, and I know that others are looking to sign up. And then the other thing is, I told parents that they wanted to go, so I was gonna wait and hear what you guys thought as far as I didn't allow parents in Arizona, but are allowing parents and how we would approve them and that kind of stuff.
So when you did this as a teacher in Arizona and you went to Washington DC?
Yeah, 2 years.
And so you had your meeting on the 15th and you signed up by the 30th?
Some of them have signed up by the 30th. They extend that as a tentative to see where we're at. And now that you can sign up, they can continue to sign up all the way into December. It's just that early registration discount that's made. And I think the reason Mr. Proc wasn't aware is because I didn't communicate that, or that it just keeps rolling because they manage everything. So that's my fault for not communicating that they sign right up before.
When is this trip that you're planning?
Next, what is the exact dates? May 24th to May 28th of 2017, out of Reno.
But you did send this out to 8th, 9th, and 10th graders?
Yeah, and I've had a parent meeting and answered their questions, and I've had communication with quite a few parents.
So would the upcoming 7th graders be eligible to go?
Yeah, those would be it'll be next year's 8th, 9th, 10th.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why cutting it off at 10th grade?
It's just more gauged to the 8th grade level. So, and it's mostly only 8th graders that go on this trip. So I didn't want to make it too much older just because it's all geared towards that 8th grade trip. So I thought 9 and 10, and then we would just do 8, 9, and 10 again, and then maybe start doing just 8 and 9, depending. I don't even have a lot of 9th graders interested right now. I don't know if it's because I'm not their teacher or because they're too cool for it already, but.
And any 10th grade?
Well, the 9th graders will be the 10th graders next year. The biggest group is my 8th graders this year who are interested. That's my biggest group. And then I have some 7th graders signed up and some 9th graders.
Total 19.
Total 19, yeah. Which is a good size group. I usually took 15 to 17, and that was good. You take one other teacher, and then you're usually paired with another group from another state, and that's always really cool. One year it was Tennessee, another year it was another, so that's kind of fun too, when it's a small group.
You said there was a limit on numbers?
No, there's not. The only concern for that is subbing, I guess, and I made sure to put it where it goes through a weekend, so that we would have less subbing issues. So that would just be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then we have Saturday, Sunday.
That was May 24th?
Yeah, through 20.
Is that when this Memorial Day weekend maybe that year?
It's right, but yeah, it's right going into that, so the week before and then into.
So you and another teacher and no chaperones, or chaperones if parents want to go?
That's what I was gonna see what you guys thought. I usually just did myself and one other teacher because we also have the course leader, on-site coordinator, and hotel security.
Right.
And that seemed to work okay. I just noticed on my first year that sometimes parents took it, they went beyond where they were supposed to go because they're adults and they feel like they can. And that kind of made it hard for the course leader. So I didn't want to manage that part, but if we thought of a way to approve and have fingerprinting, I'd be okay with trying it. I just haven't tried it before. And then it's one free teacher for every 10 students signed up.
So if you get another student.
I was gonna say, we need one more.
Well, they'll adjust the price for that one. I've had to even adjust it for 3 and let that person go, so.
It's pretty darn cool. I think so.
I wish I was in it.
I think it's a good opportunity.
Yeah.
The kids that I've taken a little bit, they didn't even want to leave. They just thought it was so incredible. Even if history wasn't their thing, you just get to see so much. And the course leaders are so educated on everything that there is, down to like the coordinates of Washington DC and the symbolic placing of things, like
I'm just
everything.
getting over there, and as an adult, I can only get to the East Coast once. So, I mean, it's an opportunity, for sure. It's really cool.
So do you need an answer on the parent thing tonight, or?
No, I just wanted to bring it up, and then Rebecca was letting me know that we have to wait till next school year anyway, so I'll tell the parents
We
to
just need a
come.
motion from you to give us permission to move forward with it. There's a sample motion there.
Okay, so if we did this right, we have a motion and a second, and then we can pass it.
Yeah, any other questions?
I move that we approve the LHS Washington DC extended field trip for 2016-17 school year as presented.
I second.
Okay, so is there any discussion?
We're trying to learn how to do it the right way.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
A great opportunity.
Yeah. For keeping us on.
Yes, absolutely.
No easy feat.
No, and it's our benefit, you've done it before, and you
And it's continuing without me at the other school also, so it's something that the families get really excited about. At first, they're like, oh, that much money, my kid goes there. But then, once they get used to it, they all love it.
So, one thing I know we love to hear though is how it goes, you know.
A couple pictures might be fun.
And then if there's any needs, or, I know sometimes if we don't have kids that age, I don't always hear about what's going on, so, or a fundraiser or anything like that, just in the loop.
Okay.
Would be great, so.
Put it out on a text.
Yeah, I need to find that.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to approve the LHS Washington DC field trip. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. Good luck. Okay, Vance Middle School enrichment field trip project.
Okay, I don't see no one here tonight, so I guess it's up to you guys, huh?
Yeah, I thought, yeah. So it's the advanced middle math field trip that Noni's done the last couple of years. She goes to Portland. It's just been a great thing for our kids. They love it. And Noni, it's great to see. He was so excited about it and has it all planned out. As you can see, the itinerary is down to the minute.
That's what I was gonna say, it's hard to breathe.
Yeah, it's a packed 3 days or whatever it is, and they, you know, she runs a tight shift, and they see a lot of stuff, and the kids just really get to see some things that they normally wouldn't. So it's pretty standard, pretty much the same as the last couple of years, I think, what she's done.
She
So
added one thing in that last line of the first paragraph, so this year we added.
an introduction to 2 math programs in Portland University. So she's actually going to do that too. So a great trip. I think even got better there. So
Well, and I like the inspirational piece. I mean, it really gives kids
yeah.
a view of what you're doing here.
Right.
You know, because it's harder to see that big picture when you're a kid, you know, like,
Yeah.
this isn't gonna matter.
She's made some great
It does.
connections with those folks that she's taking the kids to, and she's getting those guys calling her saying, hey, are you coming back up? And, you know, I think she was telling us the other day, somebody even called and offered to buy their lunch one day because he felt bad because he wasn't gonna be able to present to them. And so she's just built some great relationships, and it continues to be just a fantastic trip.
And the connection with the Portland University is one of the daily fund person, well, I mean, he's like the admissions counselor that comes here every year.
Right,
And
okay.
so we talked about it last year in June, and so he's just been really excited to host the middle school kids to come. So I think that's going to be a great piece. They go 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, she does a great job, and this is her her kids that she has.
Yeah.
So they,
Which brings back an excellent reporter.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So I saw how intensive the schedule is, leaving at like 4 AM. And does she not want to extend it one more day, 2 subs? Is it kids out of school? Is it?
I think she feels like keeping them this busy helps with the structure, and that they did really well. Did they not go the first time a couple days and then added the third day? So I think they
It
added
was 2 days when I went.
It was the same, I think,
So
yeah.
then they've added that
She just-
third day just to get some more things in. So I think that, I think that she really feels like, you know, she has them busy to keep them busy, and
Yeah, I think one of the things, you know, taking it with the kids, they need to be busy, and I think so, like, you know,
I
packaging.
just wasn't sure if it was.
Yeah, I
mean,
think-
just curious.
Yeah, I'm not real sure there, I mean, she's got her kind of set little rotations that they do, and it seemed to work pretty well, so.
especially that third day, I think that really helped her.
Maybe
to
a little
have
decent
that.
out of that.
and it's money, it's another night, and it's
Yeah.
another set of meals, which, I mean, the fundraising, that's just more money. Well, when you see her, please tell her that we appreciate that she's doing this. I think this is the best, hands-on is the best way to. We appreciate the efforts of our teachers to do this extra stuff. Okay. So we have a motion?
I move that we approve the advanced middle school math and extended field trip.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
What were the dates of that?
Thank you, Noreen. Noreen, for real.
I will, I'll take her tomorrow.
Okay, Lonnie, graduation planning discussion.
So we're putting together the program, and so I wanted to just come visit with you guys about the two pieces that the school board looks at to help us with, and that is the welcome and then awarding of diplomas with the superintendent. So I don't, you know, you guys can, we don't have to do it tonight. If you want to think about who's going to do what and get back to me later, that's okay. I just wanted to open the discussion. So graduation is June 4th at 3 o'clock. Is it 3? Don't mess me up. So I know that, do you want me to have the discussion kind of about the welcome, so several years ago, we added that open and the welcome, and so the superintendent would take the open and then the board member would take the welcome. And prior to that, we did them both together, and the school board member or the school board chair would do that. And so I think that, you know, we're open for having a discussion on how we want to do that. It felt to me like it was kind of the same thing, and that we might be able to just blend those together as one person, but it's pretty much up to you guys on what you decide there.
Well, if the board chair usually speaks, then I would love to abdicate that to our superintendent and take that part out of the program.
Okay.
It only take 3 minutes.
What's that?
It only take 3 minutes.
3 minutes?
I thought you said 30.
That's it. I didn't say
Let's an open and a welcome, so he's got to make sure everybody wants to be there.
No, if I go over 2, it's something's pretty badly wrong, so.
I mean, if that's okay with the kids, I
Oh,
think.
I think, I'm gonna meet with the class officers again tomorrow, but I think that piece, they worry about the other things. So I think that piece, they like for you guys to make the decision.
Well, it's one less person up there speaking. But if anybody up here would like to welcome. If you guys want to do it, I mean, you can do it. I don't feel amazing. I don't like to do these. I love it.
Next year, I've done it the last two, well, Desi's still the last.
I did it, I
This
mean-
year,
Desi did a nice job. It's not that anything bad was.
And then some years we have a couple board members that, you know, take turns with the superintendent handing out diplomas. I mean, so that might be in next year, I don't know, but you guys might want to do that this year too. I mean, it's however you guys want. We'd love to have you guys with the diplomas, so we can split that up, or we can have one of you
Well, if we don't have to decide tonight, then we can.
talk about it and just let us know. Okay, you just let Rebecca know, if that's okay, Rebecca.
And you don't have to speak, you know.
No, no, you just have to shake hand, and then you're right there with the picture, but,
Yeah,
so.
that's easier than,
It's hard to speak, it's a big audience.
it's a big audience, it's a big day,
It's a big
it's
thing.
emotional.
that's why I didn't do it this year, and not next year.
That's true. I know,
Speak
Rebecca
this
did it.
year.
You spoke.
Parents graduating, not a great idea.
You did well, though. You got through it. Yeah. Okay, well, we will be prepared, we will figure it out.
Thank you, guys.
Teacher Appreciation Week, resolution number 24.
Well, you see the next agenda item, canceling the April 25th meeting because of lack of quorum. It's a teacher appreciation week. But no, I'm making my point. So anyway, no. With the cancellation of that meeting, that's my point I'm trying to make here. We wouldn't be able to, you know, make the announcement about Teacher Appreciation Week, so that's why it's so early this evening. That's why we put it on this evening's agenda.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So, Teacher Appreciation Week, this year, so I'm ready to go, May 2nd through 6th. Just every bit as valued a week as the Classified Employees Week, which was very well celebrated, and a fine tribute to the classified employees, and equal kudos to the certified teaching group as well. I'm very proud of the great work that the certified teachers and teachers as a whole do for our district, and how they inspire our kids, and just the great things they do as citizens of our community. So anyway, that being said, I will read the Teacher Appreciation Week resolution. And here it is. Whereas teachers mold future citizens through guidance and education, and whereas teachers encounter students of widely differing backgrounds, and whereas our country's future depends upon providing quality education to all students, and whereas teachers spend countless hours preparing lessons, evaluating progress, counseling and coaching students, and performing community service, and whereas our community recognizes and supports its teachers in educating the children of the community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Lake County School District Number 7 Board of Directors proclaims May 2nd through 6th, 2016 to be Teacher Appreciation Week. And be it further resolved that Lake County School District Number 7 Board of Directors strongly encourages all members of our community to join with in personally expressing appreciation to our teachers for their dedication and devotion to their work. Adopted on this 11th day, April 2016. Thank you, teachers, for everything, especially our one teacher at your time. Thank you.
Good job, Ruby. Thumbs up.
I move that we approve resolution number 24, Teacher Appreciation Week resolution as presented, with our deepest gratitude for the hard work and dedication all of Lake County School District Number 7 teachers give to our students and our district every day.
I'll second.
We'll both second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve Teacher Appreciation. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Myself and classified employees, and I'm sure my fellow administrators will join in a number of events that for our teachers. What those look like, I don't know yet, but we will know out doing something, so.
Will you let us know maybe
I'd be happy to do that.
Okay, cancellation of April 25th.
Well, officially moving to that topic, here we go. We do not have enough of you to make a quorum that evening, so that we're asking you to cancel that meeting based on lack.
With great disappointment, I move that we cancel the regularly scheduled April 25th, 2016 board meeting as requested.
I'll second.
Wow. Any discussion?
Yeah, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Well, here's another heartbreaker, cancellation of April 27th budget meeting.
Yield the floor to Ms. Moses.
So since you guys can't make the 25th, you can't make the 27th either. I have lack of quorum on the 27th, which would have been our second budget meeting. So I need to actually cancel that and move it to the third one that's on our calendar, which is May 4th. So April 20th, May 4th is the designated dates.
Okay.
I move that we cancel the April 27, 2016 budget committee meeting as requested.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Do we have all of it? Budget committee members? Yes.
Your,
They're approving those.
we have an approval for number 10 tonight, so.
Did we advertise?
Yep.
In the paper?
It's in there twice.
Okay, OSBA Promise Scholarship Program.
Yes, OSBA presented this to school districts across the state of Oregon. It is a program that basically encourages board structure, board leadership, in cooperation with the superintendent. And I guess the reward from it, if you follow all the criteria, such as the superintendent evaluation, the self-evaluation, a number of leadership activities. In addition, board training sessions, I believe, similar to that Mr. Kelly provided last fall. I believe it's, setting goals, setting visions, setting expectations, and if OSBA deems you, they're picking 9 school districts across the state to this, that they deem you as a qualifying applicant, the reward or award is $5,000 student scholarship. And you can decide the criteria on that, and you need to determine, it can be determined if it's 1 student, 2, ever how many. Okay. I think it's a really good thing. It talks about OSBA meeting with you as a board and you as a superintendent. But the one thing, we're going to be talking budget next week. The budget is going to be on tight this year. That concerns me is $1,200 we invest into this for 3 sessions for them to come see us. But however, I do see a lot of fine potential here. I do see a lot of fine leadership criteria here. I think what I need to hear from you is, you'd like to proceed forward with this, investigate it, and submit an application on May 1.
I mean, the eligibility,
We've already done it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we are doing it, so.
if there's only 9, so they're awarding each 9, if we get chosen as one of the 9, we get the 5,000 if we do.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like the Senate bill where we're competing against 200 other school
Yeah.
districts.
Yeah, 454, yeah.
Is it just a 1 year?
1 year.
So spend $1,200 to do nothing?
Yeah. It's kind of a very interesting concept, so.
Well, if it doesn't, I mean, did you look at the application? Is it?
Yeah, the
It's all in your
application
packet.
should be in your packet.
It was that one page, the very last page, it's just the one sheet.
Oh,
Very short and sweet, and I think you attached the things to it, like the evaluations and the individual goal setting and all that stuff, so,
I see.
And we have to do some projects.
yeah.
Can we just give out $1,200 on installment?
Maybe that'd be easier. But, personally, I'm fine with up until we catch the $1,200. I kind of have an issue with that. But that's my personal opinion.
How much did it cost for just one training last year with Steve?
You usually go on that.
I want to say somewhere around 1,000, yeah.
I think
For just one training,
For the one training,
and they're giving us 3 for 1,200.
Didn't it
They're
say
saying
at least
it's
$1,200?
bargain.
at least.
At least
yeah.
$1,200.
So
For the one,
over
no, it's saying,
At least.
At least,
For
so
three
bare
trainings.
minimum would be 1,200, whereas they could charge you more.
Oh, the 1,200 is not.
And they
all
take,
three
you know,
trainings.
OSBA courses located in Salem, and they look at the travel cost of coming to Lakeview, that the 1,200 might increase based on travel costs.
So, yeah, price is not approved by the actual travel.
Yeah.
But what this says is project pricing is $1,200 for a minimum of 3 work sessions. So we would get 3 work sessions for $1,200.
but does not include mileage.
Doesn't
But
include
that
all
doesn't include mileage and travel costs, so you're
Yeah.
gonna pay per diem, you're gonna pay travel, you're gonna pay motel,
3 times.
400
3
gas.
times.
They won't sleep in the gym?
I kind of,
Put a bedroll in there.
my impression Steve Kelly is someone who does sleep on the floor, so.
Well, since if the application isn't gonna take a ton of time. Oh, we have to identify a project.
Well, that could be, well, you could apply and we could decide not to do it, right? We look at costs and
Yeah,
there's no obligation to buy necessarily, type deal.
we could do that.
If it's not gonna take a ton of time, that's my concern.
And then we don't miss out on it, but we still have the option to say no, or financially that doesn't.
Well, except our board adopted we will consider the promise resolution on,
We actually already adopted it previously, the promise resolution.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
We've already adopted that.
I
Yeah,
remember.
we're best in the middle already.
My biggest concern honestly, guys, is that we're having a hard enough time getting a forum together to have a meeting, that getting you guys together to be able to do multiple projects is gonna be challenging. And we've got budget season and everything else, so that's just my only concern with that, is to be able to.
Well, when does the training start?
Well, we have until the end of the year to do it. I guess we
We do.
are already.
It would be good,
And we're
it would be good
down
in
a
the fall.
person, I mean, it's.
We are.
Not that we've been.
No,
Struggling the whole-
it's just gonna be a challenge, and we're gonna go into summer, which we end up having people gone, corrected for vacation, so it's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, you read this, they really want a commitment from all of you, a pretty firm commitment from all of you.
Well, I guess 6 hours of individual. Where did I see that, 6 hours?
Yeah.
Which those cost money too, don't they, when we, OSBA online?
Training, some is free and some cost, so it just depends.
Okay.
There is lots of free training on there, I just don't know what qualifies for the requirements.
And so do you know if any of this would be like double dipping the information? Say the Bend OSBA conference or the November one? I mean, because I don't know the budget, but I have interest in those. I really like them, so that would be one of the things, is this double the information? Or
Right, is he coming?
They
Tell us.
didn't mention if
Something
those,
that you
if those
would,
particular events
offer
count
anyway.
in this. You know, I kind of really read through it to see if those events do count in this, and they didn't mention that.
Well, and you mean for the individual part, or for the
for
group?
just like the information wise of what he's coming to educate us on, is it going to also be at the conference? You know, it's almost cheaper for us to go to the conference, and a lot of those are, well, mine was free last year. Won't be this year though.
You know,
It's
you were
not
brand
cheap.
new.
It's not cheap.
No, they're like 300 and something.
Those conference workshops and things like that will count for your individual 6 hours. So it does say here, not limited to online courses, conference workshops, regional workshops. So that could count for your individual 6 hours, but not for your group training. It's just a big commitment, so
Yeah.
however you guys would like to do it, you're just making a big commitment.
I think my vote would be interested, look at the money, look at everything. I mean, it in for, we don't miss out on it if we decide not
Well,
to do it and it's not right for
I like
us.
the aspect of
then-
student scholarship, but the commitment on your part, and then, you know, in addition to this upfront investment, that concerns me, so.
Interest, no interest.
Well, if we're selected at one of the 9, then we pay the total.
Yep.
Trying to look at these board projects. Some of them we're already gonna do based on what we just talked about in the work session. Okay.
You can authorize me to move forward and investigate, and I can, if I need to, I can report to you guys by phone or something before May 1. Because that's when the application is
Okay. We don't need a motion or anything.
due. No.
All right.
We probably should have a motion if you want to, if you decide you want to proceed. If you want to submit the application, then motion. So are you just wanting, what are you wanting to do?
Move forward and investigate.
We should go ahead and apply. We don't get chosen.
Okay. All right, if you want to go ahead and make a motion then that we apply, go ahead and make it in the form that we apply for the Promise Scholarship Program.
I would make a motion that we apply for the OSBA Promise Scholarship Program.
As presented? As discussed? Do I have a second?
Sure, I'll second.
Okay. So it's been moved and seconded to apply. This is an application of intent, so we're not committing any dollars.
No.
And then we can just see where it takes us. And if it's something that we feel we can commit to.
Right.
$5,000 is a lot of money to be able to award to our students. So I mean, it's not a,
I just don't see where you're selected.
yeah.
I don't know if
So
you're
just
selected
OSBA is
off
looking
of
for 9 districts to participate in this application. Looking for
Yeah, and then-
Selected districts will complete all 5 parts of the program outlined below and will receive $5,000 of scholarship money for their students.
So assuming you just selected off of the letter of intent,
It's just a,
that's what I don't
yeah,
understand.
I'm guessing it's just off of this 1-page application. I guess it depends how many people apply. I don't know
Might be a
what their
letter,
process
too.
will be.
Might be a drawing.
Yeah.
Form will be mailed to the selected districts by October 2016. OSB will verify completion and award the scholarship money in 2017. Upon receipt of the money, each district, each board becomes solely responsible for the selection of the students and the distribution of scholarship money.
Might just be a lottery. It doesn't say how they're selected.
No, that's longer.
First time for, it's only gonna cost you $1,200.
I put in a call, this is a Steve Kelly project, but I put in a couple calls to him, he's been out, and he's supposed to be back in tomorrow.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Contract amendment number 1, approval. Mrs. Nelson.
Okay, CCS had an original contract for $16,000 on the DMS elevator project. That has been pretty much completed on their end. We wanted to put out another contract for a sprinkler system that obviously has to be piped into the elevator shaft. So while we have things tore up, we wanted to make sure that the main floor, et cetera, had the sprinkler system installed. They will do design work along with restroom design work on that main floor, for a total of $4,000. Also, there's an added $2,000 on there for travel and phone conference. We've been having, about every couple of weeks, we have a meeting with Rockport and CCS and with Daryl, just to kind of keep everything on track, keep money in line, make sure we're not going to overspend that grant, because we're not coming out of general funds with this. So we'll only do what we can do inside that grant. So we had them cushion their contract by another $2,000 to facilitate for one, phone conferences preferably, so they don't have to take a whole day to drive over here from Klamath and waste a whole day, and keep in touch with them. They, of course, will only bill us on that, based on that $2,000 of what they use, not necessarily just flat out $2,000. So it will be by the hour, or and we may or may not use it all. It seems to be reasonable and in line. ZCS has been really good to work with so far. They've come in under budget. They've come in what they've asked for on the contract, so I can't complain there. So we bumped that contract by $22,000 at the end of the day.
What was the?
5 or 2?
It'd go from 16 to 22.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
And what was the original contract? for?
16,000.
To do what?
They did the elevator, they had to do design work on the elevator shaft
Engineering.
and all that.
But so now we're having them do a restroom.
We need a restroom on the main floor, and then we have to pipe in a sprinkler system to the elevator, otherwise it's not.
And so this money, this extra $6,000 is coming out of the grant too?
Yes.
Correct. These are strictly grant funds.
So the $4,000 for the design and the sprinklers, that's part of the original grant funding and part of, we just haven't gotten into that phase of it yet. So that's not really an overage.
It's not an overage.
No.
When they first started talking, they were doing it in phases. Elevator shaft was, elevator shaft, et cetera. That was one phase of it. The sprinkler system and that main restroom is a whole other phase of it.
So since this is under 5, we don't have to go out for bid on the restroom design or sprinkler.
No, we're fine because originally, you're just extending his contract that has already been done previously under the 16,000.
But his original contract didn't include that scope of work.
Correct. So,
Okay. I think I'm tracking still.
keep in mind that the grant is specific to the elevator shaft, along with that main floor. So it is still very specific. We're still within that realm. So far from what we've done, we're fine on the funds with the grant at this point. They need the design work in order to send out the bids for the sprinkler system. So that we get those bids back. Now, after that will determine how far we can get with the funds we have from that grant.
Sprinkler system on the main floor.
Strictly the main floor.
I move that we approve contract amendment number 1 as presented.
Second.
Okay. Moved and seconded to approve the contract amendment number 1 as presented. Do we have any more questions or discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Elevator contractor change order number 1.
Okay. So So upon building department inspection, they required us to have an exit door down in the basement as a precaution or a secondary way to escape, should there be a fire, etc. So the escape door, exit signage, and steps and lighting, the cost associated to that is specifically held to the $9,122, which you'll see outlined on your change order. The other piece of this, the second part of the change order is in regards to the fan that has to be installed in the elevator shaft. The design quotes were quoted to be at a 4-inch duct. The elevator is requiring a 10-inch duct, so that's the difference between the two duct sizes, which is the increased cost of the $35.54. We have sat down with Mr. Anderson, Mr. Cahill, and Mr. Thornton. I had Rob completely walk me through that to make sure that I understood what we were doing. So basically, two things have happened. One, they were designed for a 4-inch duct. It actually has to be a 10-inch duct. And then the building department is requiring a separate exit.
So who designed it for a 4-inch duct?
The combination between the elevator company and and Anderson Engineering that we have assigned as project manager. And when they came back with the elevator specs, it was a 10-inch duct required.
And so who chose the elevator with those specs?
They had put pretty much there's one elevator company on the West Coast.
So I guess why didn't our designers check with the elevator folks to see what size of duct?
Good question.
I mean, so why are we eating that cost?
Well,
I guess. They paid them for design and the design was flawed. So maybe the designer should have some liability in that.
well, which one do you go back on, the project manager or the designer?
Yes.
Okay. We can most certainly,
That's my opinion, I don't know where everybody else is. And then I guess my next opinion where I'm at it, is this like the building department is changing rules as they go, or, I mean, they don't seem to change rules very often,
change
so,
rules.
I
I
mean,
think a
how
lot
did we get caught with needing an escape hatch?
Does the weight room door count? Do I remember right? Does the weight room, basement and a way out?
you were in on that meeting.
During the construction phase, they took the weight room door out some time ago, and basically what needed to happen is the only escape route out of that basement was the north stairs, and that was it. So basically, the fire marshal just deemed that we needed another escape route out of that basement, down on that end, in what used to be the old weight room.
So we're putting
Basically,
the
it's
door
like,
back.
basically it's gonna be like a half a door and a set of stairs will probably climb from here to the top of that building board. So. I think both of them are, that was both meetings that I attended, it was related to the building inspector making the changes, so.
I don't doubt that, but we have only one building inspector. And I would think that there'd be a pretty good relationship there. We should be able to foresee things coming and not continually be getting caught with our pants down on this one.
And you were absolutely right.
I don't know, we've spent how many thousands of dollars on project management and engineers and contractors, and we're still nickel and diamond 9,000 and 3,000. I mean, it's time that somebody either needs to start doing their job or find somebody else.
You're absolutely
Okay, that's my
right.
opinion, so.
Well, would you feel comfortable making the call to go see if the company will eat the cost?
I have no problem calling and telling them that they're,
Particular item?
Which one do you want me to have them meet the cost on, both?
But it's
I don't know about the fire marshal thing.
Well, it's an added expense.
It seems
That's
like it should have been
for
up front, you can't just like pop a door. Oh, we need one.
I can most certainly go back to the project manager and explain to him that the board does not agree with these costs. They should have been rolled up in all of it. Especially for what, 198,000? I'm correct. 198,173. We're adding 12,600.
It seems like items that should have been one prior.
So 6% change.
Well, I guess we take it back to them and we still know we're understanding their building. They might dig their heels in, but at least it might pick up sharpening the pencil next time. I would support that.
So do I have a motion?
No.
Change order approval.
Well, I guess my question is what happens if they dig their heels in and does it ever come to a standstill?
Probably will.
Probably, yeah. Probably will.
Next meeting is the first of May.
We're not going all the way until May for the meeting, so it's gonna,
Would you email us?
they want before.
Would you like-
Well,
You said deadline.
Well, here's the thing, is I have a funny feeling the work's been done. I have a funny feeling of that. I think it's already been completed. Now, that doesn't obligate us to pay it, because I told them firmly that I wasn't gonna do anything without the board approval on it. So,
And the day they brought the change order to me, I said this would have to go to the April 11th board meeting.
So we have a escape door?
Tonight's meeting.
I haven't been down there, but I think that this escape door is done. I know, I'm pretty sure that the duct work is poured out for 10.
Want to just send us an email, let us know how it goes?
I could most certainly send you an email.
I guess to me, if the work's already been done, that actually disturbs me more.
It does me too.
Then
because-
if the change order was brought before us, we could discuss it, because that assumes a lot of emotion and that was, I guess, laid out pretty clearly when the project started this time, that we had a budget and we wanted to stick to it, and as changes came, and it improved. So I would say, I would stick with our decision to take it back and have the conversation.
Get it figured out. Okay. No problem with that. We've already done it on one, so.
Yeah, we had it off one change order already.
And that's what they expect.
7,500.
And that's, so that 7,500 would be included in that 198?
So
Oh, I'm more than happy to. So we have further conversation.
So I'm seeing the board is requesting that the manager take the change order back to the project manager and
contractor.
It's gonna, yeah, it's gonna have to go back to project manager.
and probably the contractor too, if not, maybe, I don't know how to finish that sentence.
We're denying it as of right now.
So, yeah, I guess maybe there's no,
We didn't approve the additional funds.
consent agenda.
Consent agenda.
I
They
knew,
all are there for your approval.
I I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Agenda. Sorry about passes. Announcements.
Would you like to see the budget?
Oh, I can.
Yeah.
Sure. First budget meeting next Wednesday, April 20th, be in the library where we have a little bit better room. 6 o'clock. The second one, of course, we canceled April 27th, so the second one will have to be on May 4th, same time.
What time is it on Wednesday?
6 o'clock.
In the library?
Yes. LHS.
Can we configure that a little bit differently? It was really hard to see
That's why I want to
Yeah.
put it
when we
closer.
were in there last year.
Yeah, I did
Because
not
it's
like
so-
it.
Because it's, at 6 o'clock at night, that sun is right in your eyes, and you can't see anybody.
Yeah. I did not, yeah, I don't like it.
Maybe that's helpful,
No, we'll get it. We're pretty close and personal, so.
Yeah.
And I'll send out a little letter, and you guys with along with other things. I'll call you.
Okay, next board meeting agenda items.
Exec session, we're gonna present the student through evaluation.
I will have a report that's in the office grant.
We need to report on the listening sessions. We'll do work session. And so we're gonna have voice on. So then I would also like to talk a little bit about what we learned in our board training about, how we did tonight, having discussion after we did the second. All those little things, just to kind of a refresher of board etiquette, yeah, board,
You would have that work session.
yeah. Doesn't need to be a big one, but just board procedure statement.
Yes.
Okay, that's it. Listening session, yeah, those are my, actually, I wrote down procedure on my note here.
What's the date of our next meeting?
May.
May 9th.
Okay, so anything else for next meeting?
I have an engineer in the contract.
What?
I have an engineer in the contract.
So May 9th, pardon me, might have a survey, May 9th?
Oh, yeah, site council, will you guys?
I don't know,
have
though, because when was the next second?
27th?
I'm not sure exactly. I'll leave it with Steve about it.
Anything else then? Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Well, we're going to adjourn our regular.
So we're just gonna go into executive session.
Okay, so I will adjourn until the meeting is all over. Okay, so we're going to end our regular session.